Marcel back on the stream and see if that works. And there he is. Hello, sir. How is it going? And welcome to the show.
Hello, and thanks for the introduction and the little. I love Derek's presentation skill with the paper, and I kind of didn't prepare papers.
Don't worry, I don't have papers as well. He's always doing the papers of it. I think it's great.
I love it.
It's really cool.
Sometimes the old-fashioned way, it's kind of nice.
Exactly. So Marcel, I'm super pleased to have you on that stream today and to have the pleasure to spend the next 30 minutes with you talking about your life, your journey, your programs and your work. We want to make sure it's not me talking. So what I do at the very beginning always is I ask my guests to introduce themselves. So if that's cool for you, could you just give us a high-level overview about you and what you are doing for a living?
I'm originally from Switzerland, like you. It's funny that we do the interview here in Bali.
In English?
In English also. So I have been an entrepreneur over the past 10 years. I built several different businesses, and the last bigger one I left 2015, and I never really had the intention to become a nomad, or I didn't really use the term nomadic for quite a while. I think 2 years ago I started to use it. So I'm traveling the world since 5 years as a mentor for startups. Currently I'm helping mainly founders, entrepreneurs to accomplish their dream, whatever they want to become. And so that's mentoring. I have a real estate business. So my background is finance, also real estate, IT. So a lot of stuff. Basically, currently I'm focusing around people. I love to work with people and I don't really care about the projects. Usually it's tech and also a lot of co-living, of course. That's our common passion.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool, man. Very interesting. So you are in Bali at the moment, and I know you got a few retreats coming up. Can you tell us a little bit more about what we can expect in the future, depending on the retreats?
The retreats, it's kind of a funny thing because I attended a lot of retreats, even here in Bali, myself as a participant. And I wasn't really happy with it because all those retreats flew in the big names, and I kind of realized that among the group there is so much talent and potential, and then there was a second problem with either over facilitation or under facilitation. So you pay a lot of money and you get nothing for it, or you pay money but it feels like hugely stress. So that's why we started to organize our own retreats 2 years ago, and usually we invite 15 to 20 entrepreneurs, and also Dave and Chen, just the last one in Greece in September, they joined. It was like a great experience. Usually the unique part of those retreats are that we use the gifts and talents and the potential from the participants, because basically I ask everyone to present an hour of their passion. And it can be anything from business to private stuff, but usually it's so deep, and a lot of people have had life-changing experience. And also in terms of personal development, we do a lot, spirituality, of course, blah, 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 all these things. And we plan our next one in Greece. It will be in May this year. And we also plan a bigger event around co-living, which will be exciting for Nomadic's community around end of May, early June.
Cool, man. There's a lot of exciting things coming up. So how long are you going to stay in Bali for?
I only can't, like, I can't say. I mean, my CO2 footprint is so bad. I'm only here for a week.
Only here for a week. But what I know, and I want to take the chance because we want to make sure we're not missing out on that. If I get that right, it was your birthday yesterday, right?
Yes.
Damn it. Happy birthday, Marcel. All the best to your birthday. So you celebrated your birthday in Bali. That is amazing. And now you're going to leave us again. Where do you go next?
I go back to Hong Kong, and then I celebrate Christmas in Switzerland, and I take a month at least with no flights.
At least no flights for 1 month. Awesome, awesome. I love the work you do. I think this is it's very, very inspiring to hear about your retreats. Unfortunately, so far I haven't been on one of your retreats, but it's definitely on my list. One day I want to join. But I heard so many amazing things. Can you give us a little bit more about the background story? So you told us, yeah, okay, you're doing the nomadic lifestyle since 4 or 5 years now, and now you're setting up these retreats. Now we know, okay, you were not satisfied with the retreats you life-changing to change your life, you become nomadic, and then like where did you get the inspiration from to do what you do today?
I would say I'm such a strange, weird guy that I travel and do a lot of my things, which I actually currently am doing because of the intuition. So a lot of things I'm not pushing active. Listen, before 2015, I had 4 companies in parallel. I did an MBA. I was about to burn out, and I had a cancer, and I started to heal myself from this disease. And now I think it's all about the non-achieving part. And it sounds very silly. Everything I do, I don't really do because I highly want to achieve anything. I do because I kind of flow, and I meet the right people. It's a lot of magic, sometimes even for myself too much. And it has been an incredible journey. I mean, what you need, it's a lot of trust, obviously, that you kind of can really flow. That also project-wise, you have the right also income stream. You have exciting people to work with, and for me, personal development was 50% of my work. Actually, huge part: healing, inspiration, personal development, because every business struggle we face is a reflection of our own private life. So, and also when I invested in companies, and in general, if you invest in startups, you never invest in a company, you invest in people. And so understanding those people who run the companies is for me very crucial. And before I could do that, I had to better understand myself, which was quite the journey.
Oh, well, that's inspiring. That's almost missing the words, like that's really, really inspiring that you went down this road. I want to take the chance to leave a little note by the side, guys, for everyone who is watching right now, or also for the people who are watching the replay, because it's still a bit early in Europe and it's already late in Asia. But if you have questions for Marcel, please just type them in the comments, and we're going to make sure we try to answer all of them as best as possible, because this is a one and only chance that we have someone on the stream who is really, really doing inspiring work and following his intuition and following his dreams, and does what he wants to do without taking the pressure too serious, and just goes with the flow. And that's what I absolutely love about. And hearing that from someone who is Swiss is even more special for myself, because I know how we grew up, right? This is it's different to grow up as a Swiss person, because maybe then the pressure is even bigger, because everything is so, like, I don't know how to say that in English, but you guys know what I mean when I do like this, like everyone is like super straightforward, and also it's all about the career and the money, and bringing one success moment after the next. So it seems like you did an amazing turnaround. What is the nomadic lifestyle for you? Are you like living a minimalistic lifestyle, or how did that whole thing change? Are you still living out of a backpack, or are you still having a base, or how does that look?
I mean, I live out of my suitcase for 5 years now, hand luggage. I wasted so much time waiting for my bag at the airports. That's why I always travel hand luggage.
Seriously?
And I love yes.
Sorry,
always,
don't want to interrupt you, but you only travel by hand luggage?
Yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if I go 3 days, 2 months. It can be challenging. Like I was in Greenland, and I had to bring a tent and a backpack and some additional stuff. So I had a that was my last actually check-in journey in 2017. But I mean, beside of that, I'm getting more minimalistic. I like all this consumption or materialistic things doesn't really mean anything to me. I have a vacation home in Ticino in Switzerland. So always when I go there, kind of my base, I have some stuff there. Usually I travel 10 months of the year. So I only kind of rest for 2 months. Summer I love in Switzerland, and I love Ticino. I don't know where you actually grew up in Switzerland, but Ticino for me is special.
Beautiful.
And
it's a beautiful place, yes.
It seems I'm getting more fixed. Now we bought the property in Switzerland for community. Maybe something I can mention later. And we buy another one. It's actually healing, co-living retreat space we're going to buy as well, most likely. And then Ticino will be for sure my base for at least 6 months a year. I believe even 9.
Okay.
So I'm going to slow down quite a lot of my travels.
Wow. I'm just like super impressed by 10 months a year hand luggage. That's really, really cool. And I always consider myself as a minimalistic person as well, especially when I started 7 years ago. But I never managed it to downsize to hand luggage. To be very honest, I still have my backpack. So all my respect. Yeah, man. Let's dive a little bit more into what you just mentioned. So you're gonna have like 2 properties. In the Italian-speaking part, for people who don't know what that is, Ticino. So that's the Italian-speaking part of Switzerland. So you're gonna have 2 properties down there, and then you're gonna do like retreats or coming together like co-living spaces, or how does that look?
So one place we're gonna newly construct, and the second one is a current retreat space, and it's actually a healing community. So a lot of magic is happening there, very powerful energy. And so we can take over. It's a succession planning. The owners is getting retired. And we want to bring in more entrepreneurs, obviously, and also co-living. And I've been working on a project. It's called Akasha.Space. And we aim to build 20 co-living communities globally, like most incredible location for sure, also Bali. We already have around 6 locations, different properties. And basically what is kind of annoying me while being a nomad is I'm still paying rent, and it's a waste of money. And I bought apartments since I was quite young, and I had always a passion for architecture and real estate. And if you see how much money you waste in paying rent, it's insane. And so I would love to own 20 places around the globe, and it's kind of a timeshare. Many people know what is a timeshare. So you have a bedroom. If you don't use it, the community will rent it out to third parties, and you will get money from that. And you can move around freely. For example, you can spend a month in Lisbon, then go Berlin, Bali, whatever, wherever you want to go. And the second important part is that you can really, I call it the university of growth, that you can co-live, co-work with people you really feel connected and inspired, and you get shit done. Because if you go only for 2 weeks somewhere, or even in co-working spaces, you don't have enough time to really get to know the people. That's kind of crucial. Community, of course.
Awesome. I like what you say about the whole thing about paying rent and how much money is getting wasted on it. So having like 20 bases around the world seems like that's the way to go, right? That's an awesome option, man. I'm seriously impressed by how you're setting that stuff up, and about I love the concept of time sharing, and then like just being there for separate specific times, and then renting it out. So seems to me like it definitely creates a win-win, and I believe personally, what will happen in the future anyway, because I believe the world is becoming nomadic more and more, and people start to travel more and more. So there are be less borders, and people are moving back and forward. So it seems like what you do is already like 5 steps ahead, and that's amazing, man. I'm loving it. Let me just drop quickly back on my Facebook feed here, because I have one question I would like to ask you, and this question is coming from Wendy. And Wendy is asking, Marcel, what was the tools you used on your journey to get to know yourself better? Anything specific? It's a really interesting question. I like that one. I wanted to pick that out and ask.
I did a lot, and I mean, I always say no pain, no gain. So when it comes to personal development or getting to know yourself, you have to go on this journey. And of course, not always it is a smooth process, and you need external people to kind of mirror yourself. So I did a lot of groups. For example, what really saved my life was Osho. I was reading a lot of books. Many people know about him or the work of Osho. He has kind of a shitty reputation because of the Netflix documentary Wild Wild West. And I got a different impression. When you go to India and you stay a week is enough for the beginning in the ashram, or you get to know about different meditation. Basically, I learned a lot about myself from meditation, and also on this journey healing myself to really what kind of people I like, what kind of places, and also food. I changed my food. I reduced stress. I don't have stress anymore in my life. And another thing which I can really recommend, they will like it, is Path of Love. It's a 1-week retreat. They do 20 times a year. It's kind of tough, and you go back to the childhood, because a lot of our issues today, it's all childhood related, mainly. It's really 70% of the struggles of today, it's related to childhood. And I always said the biggest crime on this planet is suppression of potential. It's not war, it's not hunger, it's not hate, it's suppression of potential, because when we are born, we have all the possibilities. A child is like pure, and so that's where you have to go. You have to go back actually when you were still not brainwashed, when you were pure, gifted, and loving, kind, and whatever, connected with yourself, connected with the universe. So it's kind of a simple process, and there are many books also.
Yeah. Wow. So that's kind of like that. That was a very detailed question. Answer to that question. Thank you so much for sharing this with the community, Marcel. This is an amazing talk, and I'm even more impressed now by having the chance to hear all this directly from you, instead of just reading all the stories about you from your pages and stuff like that. What I would like to do, because we're going a little bit towards the end phase of that interview, and I want to make sure we're not taking too much of your time. As we said, it's already late, and I know you are a busy man. So to go towards the end, I would like to look a little bit more into the future. Okay, so here we are right now, and obviously you are one of the living examples that it is possible to constantly travel the world and to run successful businesses and to follow the passion, to have that amazing drive and to be different than most people are these days. Where do you see the future? What do you think? What is coming next? Where are we heading with that? I like to call it the digital revolution. A lot of people say the digital evolution, whatever we call it. Where do you see it? Where do we heading next with the whole thing?
Wow, I mean that's a nice ending, and I'm a super optimist when it comes to anything in the future. The thing is really it's kind of unpredictable. We are seeing like these quantum leaps of like what was 10 years in the past, it will be 2 years in the future, or even a year. So the speed is really increasing. Technology wise, I don't want to go in that thing. It's also there. It's like huge, and the technology we can use for communities, for example. I'm involved in an AI company from India. They developed algorithms to predict if you're an entrepreneur. So we get the investors and we kind of understand the people. But you can use it also for community to kind of align the people to mind match, how we call it, to mind match the people. And I think this is the future, going almost backwards, because in the past we did more care about the people, and also in business you have to build the business around the people and to really know your people. And with data we have those tools. When it comes to co-living, I really want to mention a few essential parts. When it comes to co-living, the hardware we are using, the houses or the buildings, they don't really support our nature. And it starts already when you reflect on the words they use. They say you're living in an apartment, being apart. You live in a flat to keep your flat. And on top you have a mortgage. A mortgage is a coffin when you get buried. So a lot of those, again, words who suppress collaboration, who suppress co-creation. And I think this is the core of the living part. If we talk about co and living, this is so important, that co-create the spaces which we really feel where we can thrive and not only survive. Because the kind of the houses we are using, it's a commodity. I mean, sometimes nice, sometimes not nice, but basically it's a good we exchange for money, and it's nothing really where we feel connected or supported from. And basically with the stress and environment we created, we need a place where we can really recover and get inspiration back, and also to chill. It's so important. I mean, you know it, how it is in Bali compared to Switzerland.
That's true.
So I think this really deep, the deeper human connection and deeper human understanding is so important. And at the end, I also feel we are running around to save the planet. We all know we fucked it up, and I really believe we crossed the point of no return already. But we are still running around and talking. What would be needed is that we kind of coordinate and see where can we bring the biggest impact for our community or for the planet or whatever is our motivation. Because everybody tries to solve the problems by themselves. That's kind of I also see in co-living space that you synchronize.
Okay. Wow. That's deep, man. That is super, super, super inspiring. Thank you so much for sharing all this value, giving like all these insights to the community. This is like crazy valuable. That was so cool to have you on that stream. Before I let you go, there is one last question, and I like to ask that to every guest we have on these streams, without going like in a massive explanation or so, but just very short in a few phrases. We have a lot of people in this community. They are at the beginning of their nomadic journey, and a lot of people are like, should I do it? Should I not do it? What, like there is all these concerns. We all know about these concerns. So what is your main advice to someone who is at the beginning of his journey to work remotely and starts to travel and everything, when they are not really sure? What is Marcel's main advice for the community out there?
I think there are two, and the basic one is start traveling, and maybe not call yourself a nomad from the beginning. Just travel. You don't need to have a program. I did a year around the world. It was the best experience ever, 2008. You learn so much. And then the second one is getting clear on your motivation. If it's to run away from something or to impress somebody, it's the wrong motivation. If it's really to create freedom, to get inspiration, I would say that's two of my main values or drivers are freedom and inspiration. So getting clear on the motivation is essential. And if you do it from your own motivation, then go for it. If it's external oriented to kind of being against the system, hating corporate jobs, that's a kind of a silly excuse to become a nomad.
What a super cool statement to wrap that up. I love it. Awesome. It just blew my mind. That's amazing. Marcel, thank you so much again for being on the show. Thank you so much for driving all this value to the community. We're going to make sure we drop all the links to your program, to your upcoming retreats down in the comments. So guys, as for the ones who are watching the video to a later point, if you have more questions or stuff coming up, just type them in the comments. We'll make sure to answer them. I'll make sure that Marcel gets them, and we will find a way to find all the answers to your questions, because this one here was highly valuable. And obviously, besides that, we want to make sure that you can find Marcel's programs, retreats, and everything what he's coming out with. Make sure to follow that guy because he's a legend. In this case, Marcel, thank you so much for being a part of the show. It was an honor.
Thank you, and thank you for everything you do with Nomadics, and I love it, and you guys rock. And I had no doubts from the beginning. Dave can tell you, so
awesome.
You do the right stuff.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Have a beautiful night, and we're gonna talk soon. All right.
Bye bye. You too. Ciao. Bye bye. Thank you.